As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light.
They are.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitzanu b'mitzvotav v'tizvanu lahadlik ner shal Shabbat.
Amen.
Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign in the universe, who hallows us with mitzvah, commanding us to kindle the light of Shabbat.
Shabbat shalom. All right, folks. So 18 Shabbat blessings for peace in Israel and in Palestine. May this light embrace all who are suffering through war. May this light spread and reach toward the hostages and their families, wrapping them in a protective embrace. May this light illuminate paths of safety and shelter for the people of Gaza. May this light shatter barriers separating food and aid from innocent civilians. May this light open space for the people of Israel and Palestine to process their grief and anxiety. May this light break open the barriers in our hearts. May this light soften anger and fear. May this light erase thoughts of revenge. May this light give us strength to stand up against extremists in power. May this light hold gently the traumas of our past and the traumas of our present. May all the people who call Israel and Palestine their home come together to grieve and witness each other's pain. May we transform our grief into solidarity. May our solidarity pave the way for a shared future. May we nurture the divine spark in ourselves. May that spark shine out to include our families, friends, neighbors, and all who live on earth. May the divine light from before creation inspire us to choose life. May this light empower us to build the future we want to see. May this light guide us on the path toward healing and peace. All right. Holly, can I invite you up now for Kiddush?
Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shavat kadsho be'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu zikaron l'maaseh b'reishit ki hu yom tehila l'mikra'e kodesh zecher l'tziach Mitzrayim Kivanu Baharta V'yotanu Kidashta Mikol Hamim V'shabat Kodshecha B'yahava uvratzon Hinchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat.
Amen. Thank you. Shabbat shalom. All right. Let's continue on page 138 with Lecha Dodi. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, la la la, Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Shamor vezachor bedibur echad, Hishmianu el hameyuchad, Adonai echad, Ushemahu echad, L'shem u'tiferet, V'haliti la lecha dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela, lecha dodi likrat kala, la la la, Pnei Shabbat nekabela. לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, כי היא מקור הברכה, מראש מקדם נסוכה, סוף מעשה במחשה ותחילה, לחדדי לקראת כלה. פני שבת נקבלה, לחדדי לקראת כלה, לה לה לה, פני שבת נקבלה. מקדש מלך עיר מלוכה, קום מצאי מתוך ההפכה, רב לך שבט בעמק הבכה, ורוח המול עלייך אמנה, לחדדי לקראת כלה. פני שבת נקבלה, לחדדי לקראת כלה, לה לה לה, פני שבת נקבלה. ימין ושמאל תפרוצי, ואת אדוני תריצי, על יד איש בן פרצי, ונשמחה ונגילה, לחדדי לקראת כלה. פני שבת נקבלה, לחדדי לקראת כלה, לה לה לה, פני שבת נקבלה. בואי ושלום עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה. בואי חלה, בואי חלה, לחדדי לקראת כלה. פני שבת נקבלה, לחדדי לקראת כלה, לה לה לה, פני שבת נקבלה. All right, the full text of Yedid Nefesh is at the back of the book, at page 636. Yedid Nefesh, Yadadayav Harachaman, Meshochav Decha, El Retzonecha, Yarutz Avdecha, Kemo Hayal, Ishtachave, El Mul HaTorecha, Yeravlu, Yedidutecha, Minofet Suf, Bechol Taham, Hadurnahe, Yadaraziv Haolam, Nafshi Cholat Ahavatecha, Anail Narifanala, Beharod La, Noam Zivecha, Astid Chazek, Vetidrape, Vehaitala, Simchat Olam, Vatikia Hamuna, Yadarai Rachamecha, Vechusana, Halbeinahu Vecha, Niksof, Niksaf, Lirut Betiferet, Uzecha, Ana Elichem Dad Libi, Chusana, Ve'atitalam, Igalena, Yadai Ufros Chaviv Alai, Et Sukat Shalomecha, Ta'ir Eretz Mikvodecha, Nagila Venismecha Bach, Maher Ahuv, Kiva Moed, V'choneinu yada da 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 da, yada da 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 da, yada da 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 da, yada da 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 da, yada da 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 da, yada da 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 da, yada da 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 da, yada da 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 da, yada da 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 da, yada da 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 da, yada da 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 da, yada da 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 da. Going to turn to page 140 now. For Psalm 92, Mizmor Shir L'Yom HaShabbat. Mizmor Shir L'Yom HaShabbat, Tov Lehodot LaHadonai, Ulzamer L'Shimcha Elyon, Ulzamer L'Shimcha Elyon, Lehagid Baboker Chastecha, Ve'emunatecha Baleilot, Halei Asur V'alei Navel, Halei Gayon Bechinor, Mizmor Shir L'Yom HaShabbat, Tov Lehodot LaHadonai, Ulzamer L'Shimcha Elyon, Ulzamer L'Shimcha Elyon, Ki Simchatani Adonai Befolecha, B'masei Yadecha Aranein, Ma Godlu Masech Adonai, Me'od Amko Machshevotecha, Mizmor Shir L'Yom HaShabbat, Tov Lehodot LaHadonai, Ulzamer L'Shimcha Elyon, Ulzamer L'Shimcha Elyon. All right, and finally we'll turn to page 142. Shalom Aleichem. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei HaSharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malachei Amlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Boachem L'Shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malachei Amlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Baruch Ni L'Shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malachei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Tzidchem L'Shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malachei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. All right, folks. We're going to turn to page 145 now, and we'll read together in English. Entrances to holiness are everywhere. The possibility of ascent is all the time, even at unlikely times and through unlikely places. There is no place on earth without the presence. Let's turn to 146 now. Please rise with me if you're able and comfortable doing so for the Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Leolam Vaed. Folks, please have a seat. Let's turn to page 149 now, and we'll read together again in English. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Creator of the tide of time and light, you guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Baruch atah Adonai, Hamariv Aravim. Page 150. Ahavat Olam, Beit Yisrael, Amcha ahavta, Torah u'mitzvot, chukim u'mishpatim, otanu limadata, al ken Adonai Eloheinu b'shochbeinu uvkumenu, nasiach bechukecha, v'nismach b'divrei toratecha, uv'mitzvotecha le'olam voed, ki hem chayenu, ve'orech yameinu, uvahem negeh yomam v'layla, v'ahavatcha al tasir, mimenu le'olami. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. We'll turn to page 152 now. Please rise if you're able and comfortable doing so for the opening of the Shema. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed. Please feel free to have a seat. Continuing on page 154. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol miodecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavcha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam b'shivtecha b'veitecha uv'lechtecha v'derech uv'shochbecha uv'kumecha ukshartam leot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot b'neinecha uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha u'visharecha Leman tizkaru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'hitem kadoshim leloechem ani Adonai Eloechem asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim liot lachem le'Elohim ani Adonai Eloechem Adonai Elohechem, Amen. Going to continue on page 157. Let's read together in English. In a world torn by violence and pain, a world far from wholeness and peace, give us the courage to say, Adonai, there is one God in heaven and earth. The high heavens declare your glory. May earth reveal your justice and love. From bondage in Egypt we were delivered. At Sinai we bound ourselves to your way. Inspired by prophets and instructed by sages, time and again we overcame oppressive forces. Though our failings are many and our faults are great, it has been our glory to bear witness to our God, keeping alive in dark ages your vision of a world redeemed. Let us continue to work for the day when the nations will be one and at peace. Then shall we rejoice as Israel did, singing on the shores of the sea. Page 158. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh, nora tehilot osef ele, מלכותך ראו בניך, בוקע ים לפני משה ומרים, זה ליענו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, ונאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב, וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו, ברוך אתה אדוני גאל Yisrael. Let's turn to 161 now. We'll read together. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Adonai, help us to walk with good companions, to live with hope in our hearts and eternity in our thoughts, that we may lie down in peace and rise up waiting to do your will. Baruch atah Adonai, הפורש סוכת שלום עלינו, ועל כל עמו ישראל, ועל ירושלים. Page 162. ישמחו במלכותך שומרי שבת וקוראי עונג המקדשי שביעי כולם ישבעו ויתענגו מטובך ישמחו במלכותך שומרי שבת וקוראי עונג המקדשי שביעי כולם ישבעו ויתענגו מטובך. All right, everyone, let's turn to page 164. And we will rise again, if you're able and comfortable doing so, for the beginning of the Amidah. Adonai sefatai tiftachu fi yagid tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Page 166. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, ve'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor ve'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Vekonei Hakol, Vezocher Chasdei Avot Ve'imahot, Umevi Geula Livnei V'neihem Leman Shemo B'Ahava, Melech Ozer Umoshia Umagin, Baruch Atah Adonai, Magin Avraham V'Ezrat Sarah. Ata gibor leolam Adonai, mechaye metim ata rav lehoshia, mashiv haruach umorid hagashem, mechalkel chayim bechesed, mechaye metim berachamim rabim, somech noflim verofeh cholim, umatir asurim, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר, מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומידה מלך, מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה לחיות מתים, ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי המתים. All right, folks, let's have a seat. And we will turn to page 171. Days pass, and the years vanish, and we walk sightless among miracles. God, fill our eyes with seeing and our minds with knowing. Let there be moments when your presence, like lightning, illumines the darkness in which we walk. Help us to see, wherever we gaze, that the bush burns unconsumed, and we, clay touched by God, will reach out for holiness and exclaim in wonder, how filled with awe is this place, and we did not know it. Baruch atah Adonai El HaKadosh. We'll continue reading on page 173. May these hours of rest and renewal be open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day. And may this day fulfill its promise. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh ha-Shabbat. Ritzei Adonai Eloheinu be'amcha Yisrael, utfilatam be'ava tekabel, utehi l'ratzon tamid avodat Yisrael amecha, el karov lechol korav, panei levadecha vechonenu, shefoch ruchacha aleinu, v'techezen einenu b'shuvcha letzion berachamim, Baruch atah Adonai amachazir shchinato litzion. All right, let's turn to page 176 now. We're going to, for the Thanksgiving blessing, we'll give folks a chance to share something they're feeling grateful about this week. So we'll begin with the English here, and then we will give you a chance. You can raise your hand, and Robin will come around with the microphone and let you talk. God of goodness, we give thanks for the gift of life, wonder beyond words, for the awareness of soul, our light within, for the world around us so filled with beauty, for the richness of the earth which day by day sustains us. For all these and more, we offer thanks. All right, if you'd like to share, just raise your hand.
I am very thankful that was invited to a house of one of the people in the congregation to a very wonderful Thanksgiving meal. My cats just do not make anything that good.
I'm grateful that last Sunday I was able to take this incredible hike in the Niagara Gorge. It was a beautiful, nice day, and it was just a good exercise and wonderful scenery.
I see you, Dennis. Go for it.
Yeah, Sandy and I are very grateful to have had the opportunity to spend Thanksgiving with a bunch of our family and had a really good time helping Lee celebrate the holiday was really great.
That's great. Glad to hear it.
Oh, and it's a good week to say we're grateful, right? So my week was beautiful with Thanksgiving and having family in this week, and some of my brothers joined us, and we had a beautiful Thanksgiving. So I'm very grateful.
Yeah. Something on my mind lately has been that, the people in our lives whom we love, right? There's, a trickiness to that because we place our hopes and our cares and our concerns in these other people, and we can't control those people, nor can we solve their problems for them, nor can we, sometimes do anything to remove the burden of, the difficulties that they're facing when those difficulties require a very personal decision or a personal effort. And so the thing I'm feeling grateful for is, sometimes in those moments when we have a concern for somebody that we love, we see them in a place of strength and rising to the occasion and doing something they didn't think they were able to do. And there's a great deal of gratitude I have for that in the ways that, we try to be there for the people that we love, and we hope that God will be there for them in the ways that we can't be. Baruch, got a chat. Okay, great. Anne-Marie says, I'm thankful that we found a safe and healthy home to live in, and were able to move out of the unsafe and unhealthy home we were living in on October 24th. We found out yesterday that our old home that we sold and moved out of was condemned over the weekend due to the condition we were living in. So, sounds like a good time that you got out of there. Baruch atah Adonai atov shimcha ulchana elehodot. Going to turn to 179 now, and let's read together. Grant us peace, your most precious gift, O eternal source of peace, and give us the will to proclaim its message to all the peoples of the earth. Bless our country as a safeguard of peace, its advocate among the nations. May contentment reign within our borders, health and happiness within our homes. Strengthen the bonds of friendship and fellowship among all the inhabitants of every land. Plant virtue in every soul, and may the love of your name hallow every home and every heart. Praised are you, Eternal One, who blesses our people with peace. Baruch atah Adonai, hamevarech et amo Yisrael b'shalom. We'll take a moment now for our own personal prayers and reflections before coming back together. Ose shalom imromav hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel. Ose shalom imromav hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel ve'imeru amen. Let's turn forward now to page 371 for Misha Berach for healing. This week in our congregation we're praying for Rafael Al-Yedi, Kathleen Al-Jalad, David Ben Esther, Terry Bennett, Thomas Brophy, Tom Brown, Louis Calcetera, Tegan Christofferson, Keith Tapan, Leah Mead, John Muller, Rowan Nocholino, Jeremy Orden, Manny Orden, Robin Orden, Grayson Porter, Evelyn Rybell, Ken Roberts, Shmuel Emmett Ruvain, Mibeit Avraham Basara, and Elvin Ben Shmuel Emmett Ruvain, Betty Dower, Llewellyn Egan, Lee Foreman, Lauren Furman, Sandra Gutman, Robin Haas, Rosemary Hazen, Sheila Hickok, Sharon Kirshheimer, Helen Lewis, Jim Mason, Jim Rosenstein, Sherry Schwartz, Jennifer Stile, Rabbi Lance Sussman, Liz Sussman, Timothy Swindell, Rhonda Waxman, Elena Witter, Phyllis Young, Eugenia Zaroli, and Yeager Zock. And if you'd care to add anyone's name to our healing prayers this evening, just raise your hand. Get right around to you. Okay, I don't see any hands up. Avotenu mekor habracha leimotenu. May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mishebeirach imotenu mekor habracha lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shelema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. Praying for a refuah shlema, a complete and speedy recovery to all those that we're holding in our hearts this evening. All right, folks, gonna share a couple words of Torah here with you. Try to wake you up a little bit. We're on Parashat Vayetze this weekend. And Parashat Vayetze begins with Jacob on his own with nothing. Having first been introduced to him in the previous parsha as an ish tam yoshev ohalim, a simple or a mild man, a dweller in tents, or rather a stayer at home, we find Jacob now far from home, with a need somehow to support himself and make himself a life separate from the family he was born into and which he's been living with up until this point. Considering Jacob's position in this moment, the Ishbitzer Rebbe reflects on a midrash, on the verse from Psalm 121. Esa einai el heharim, me'ayin yavo ezri. I lift my eyes to the mountains, where will my help come from? Do not read it as heharim, suggests the midrash, but rather hehorim, to one's parents and teachers. In this moment, the Rebbe says, Jacob was feeling very discouraged because, as a penniless wanderer, he felt greatly diminished from the state of his parents and his grandparents. Whereas they had never had to worry about earthly matters, but instead devoted themselves to prayer and mystical reflection. Here he was with nothing, called upon to devote his energies to the lesser matters of making a living. But on further reflection, Jacob said, I will not give up hope in my Creator, for even though they were occupied with great matters, and I see myself occupied with small matters, in any case, in these things too there is service to God, who created all things. There's a difficulty sometimes in perceiving what are great and what are small matters. Oftentimes, small matters can seem exceedingly great to us. And great matters may seem small because we're not aware of the element of divine service contained within them. I think the real significance of great matters such as prayer and mystical reflection is that they help us see the greatness contained within the small matters of everyday life. The real essence of Torah lies in doing small things in great ways, in attending to the details of everyday life in a manner suffused with an awareness of their cosmic significance. When Jacob awakens from his mystical dream vision of a ladder connecting heaven and earth, he exclaims, "Surely Adonai is present in this place, and I did not know it." Now, some have interpreted this statement to mean that there's a special sanctity, a special holiness in this place, this specific place where Jacob was. They link it with the Temple Mount and say that he had happened on his journey to sleep in the exact place what would someday become the site of the temple and the place where our tradition says that's God's footstool, the place where God's feet rest upon the earth. But I think that this statement is actually a statement of renewed awareness. It's an awareness of the dimension of holiness which is to be found in any place where we look for it. When we wake up to the greatness of small things, to the greatness of small places, and realize that Adonai is present in this place and that we did not know it. And so the thing I'd like to reflect on tonight, if you care to share some thoughts about it, is the distinction between great and small matters. What are the great matters and what are the small matters? What are the things that you feel like we need to pay closer attention to, that should animate our lives and activate our concerns? And what are the things that maybe take up more of our headspace than really they deserve, that we should maybe be paying less attention to?
Well, I think in this season where there's so much emphasis on acquiring things, consumerism, and creating these wants and desires in people that are materialistic, that I think that's something that could take up less of our time, like the scrolling online, like to shop for things, or, all those kind of things that suck our attention away from maybe doing action to make the world a better place, like even if it's like acting locally, to make our community better, and putting our time and attention there rather than on acquiring things. So.
Absolutely. Thank you.
I was thinking that, just sometimes trying to live our life is a greater matter. And I was just thinking in my mind that, taking care of my cats and feeding them is a lesser matter. However, it's not that lesser because they're totally dependent on me to watch after them, to keep them warm and fed and watered and everything like that, and keep them safe. Mm-hmm. And then they give me a lot of unconditional love in return.
Absolutely. It's an exercise of the midah of chesed, of rachamim, of compassion, right? That's a pretty great matter.
I think that sometimes we don't pay close enough attention to those who are close to us. Mm-hmm. We take for granted that they're going to do things for us. And it seems like a little thing to make sure to say thank you for something that somebody regularly does, but it's that much more important because you're acknowledging the fact that they're contributing to a good part of your life. So, it's better to say, it's just a small thing, but to keep the relationship connected, it can become a very big thing after a while. Just, for someone to feel like they're neglected and no one's paying attention to them or caring about what they do.
That's really true. It's a really weird sense of perspective we have sometimes where the very near things seem small and the very far things seem really big.
I've been working my whole life. I'm 70 years old. I have always enjoyed everything that I've worked at. And I'm at this point, I've been a programmer for like 30 years, and I'm going to retire at the end of this year. And I'm frightened. But I think that is something that has been taking too much of my attention, and I'd like to start to turn more inward rather than distracting myself every day with this kind of thing, even though I enjoy it, but I feel at this point in my life that it's almost a distraction, and I want to go more inward. So,
thank you. All right. Got some bonding over retirement year here. Anyone else wanted to share something that I missed? I don't think so. All right, folks. Thank you. We're going to turn back to the Siddur now and turn to page 587. Can I get another volunteer to come up and open the Ark, please, for Elena? Okay, Bruce, you got it. Come on up. Please rise if you're able and comfortable doing so on page 587 for Elena. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol l'teikdu al yotzer b'reshit shehu samchelkeinu l'yached et shemo v'gor aleinu l'hamlich malchuto v'anachnu korim u'mishtachavim u'modim livnei malach malchei hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Thank you. Feel free to have a seat. We'll continue on page 591. Rise up like the sun, O God, over all humanity. Cause light to go forth over all the lands between the seas, and light up their universe with the joy of wholeness, of freedom, and of peace. V'ne'emar v'haya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz bayom hahu yiyeh Adonai echad u'shemo echad. All right, folks. Should have taken that down. Let's turn to page 598 for the Mourner's Kaddish. This week we are mourning the deaths of Lottie Bennett and Gary Thomas, and we are remembering the yahrzeits of Richard Pearlbinder, Ava Rosenberg, Sarah Shore, Anna Burstein, Sandy Kleinberg, Richard Antoon, Martin E. Nachsen, and Dr. Henry Rappaport. And thank you. And if there's anyone else who'd like to add a name, please feel free to do so. All right, please rise if you're able and comfortable doing so as we prepare to recite the Mourner's Kaddish. Yit Gadal v'yit Kadash Shemei Rabba B'alma Divra Chirute V'yamlich Malchute B'chayechon Uv'yomechon Uv'chaye Dechol Beit Yisrael Ba'agala Uv'izman Kariv V'imru Amen. Yehi Shemei Rabba Mivarach Le'alam Ulalmei Almaya Yitbarach V'yishtabach V'yitpa'ar V'yitromam V'yitnaseh V'yitadar V'yitaleh V'yithalal Shemei Dekudsha B'richu Le'ela Min Kol Birchata V'shirata Tushbachata V'nechamata Damiran Be'alma V'imru Amen. Yehi Shalom Rabba Min Shemaya V'chayim Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael V'imru Amen. Oseh Shalom Bimromav Hu Yaseh Shalom Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael Ve'al Kol Yoshvei Tevel V'imru Amen. May their memories be for a blessing. All right, folks, feel free to have a seat. Going to give you one or two announcements. As usual, tomorrow we've got Torah study from 9:15 to 10:30. We've been doing a little dive through the book of Kohelet, or Ecclesiastes, which has been a lot of fun. So we've got a whole lot more Kohelet to go, so feel free to jump in. And services, as always, starting at 10:30 tomorrow morning. I'll point out also that we do have a community board game night this week. It is the last weekend of November, so we always do that the last Saturday of November. So that starts at 6 p.m. It's here at Temple Concord in the social hall. We do generally order a pizza and have some salad. So if you're coming and plan to eat some pizza, then we appreciate it if people can come with a donation. I think like $5 per person is about what we usually ask. Or suggest, but in any case, come, bring a board game if you like. I always bring some board games from home myself, so it's always a nice time to hang out and socialize with your, fellow community members. For other stuff coming up, some key stuff here is that, so we do have Hanukkah coming up here we go, yes. So first of all, so every night of Hanukkah, right, we will be getting together out front of the temple here to light the big menorah, right? So that's happening every night. So people are encouraged and invited and welcome. Please come and help us light the candles. It's a lot of fun. But also, we've got kind of a Hanukkah celebration on Friday, December 19th. So that's going to be kind of like a potluck Shabbat, like we do. But it's going to be Hanukkah style, so we'll have latkes and also encourage people to bring their menorah from home, and we'll light them and we'll have a nice time. Okay? For other stuff, as usual, I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Okay, so Sunday, December 7th, next Sunday, we do have the Sisterhood Rummage Sale is happening from 10 to 2, but also we've got the next adult education program. So this one is going to be The Exciting Lives of Small City Jews, being taught by Benjamin Kellman, and that I believe is, that's here at Temple Concord. That meets at 10 a.m. Also, yes? I mean, it's whenever it gets dark, but I'll figure out the exact times and send it out by email if it helps people. Yeah, absolutely. Thanks. Anyway, so Adult Ed happening not this Sunday, but Sunday, December 7th, so a week from this Sunday. So come for that. It'll be cool. For everything else, obviously, we send out the emails. We should either have just sent out the most recent NAROTs, or it should be arriving in your email pretty soon, so keep an eye out for that. We're going to finish up here on page 625 with the Don Olam. And since we are in the month of Kislev and about to start Hanukkah pretty soon, we're going to do this to the tune of Maoz Tzur. Adon olam asher malach b'terem kol yitzir nivra le'et nasa v'chefetzo kol azai melech shemo nikra ve'yachar giglut hakol livado yimloch nora ve'hu haya ve'hu hove ve'hu yiyeh betifara ve'hu echad ve'yein sheni lehamshilo lehachbira beli reshit beli tachlit velo ahoz ve'hamisra ve'hu eli ve'chai goali ve'tzur chavli be'yitzara ve'hu nisi umanos li menat kusi be'yom ekra me'yado avkid ruhi ve'yetishan ve'ayira ve'yibruchi geviati Adonai li ve'lo ira. Alrighty. Hamotzi lachem min haaretz. We give thanks to God for bread. Our voices rise in song together as our joyful prayer is said. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lachem min haaretz. Amen. Shabbat shalom, everyone. Thank you so much for being with us here tonight.